Hello, in this lecture I will be talking about the experiments of Hershey and Chase which was conducted in 1952. Their experiments confirmed that DNA was the genetic material. We know about the Griffiths experiment on transformation and the experiment that followed to discover the hereditary material and its nature. Getting the idea from the Griffiths experiment, Avery and his colleagues proved DNA to be the genetic material. But there was still doubt in the scientific community that whether DNA was really the genetic material or not. It was ultimately accepted that DNA was the genetic material after Hershey and Chase published their experimental results. In 1952, Alfred Hershey and Martha Chase took an effort to find the genetic material in organisms. Their experiments ultimately proved that not protein but DNA is the genetic material. Hershey and Chase used bacteriophages, that is, the virus that infect bacteria, in their experiment. Before looking at the experiment, we must understand the structure and the life cycle of the virus, which is the bacteriophage in this experiment. Bacteriophages contain only two types of biological molecules, DNA and protein. We can see that the DNA is present inside the capsid of the bacteriophage, while the outside is made up of protein coat. So only two type of biological molecules is present in the bacteriophage, DNA which is inside the head of the capsid and the protein which is outside. Now let us see about the normal life cycle of the bacteriophage, how this bacteriophage infects a bacteria. First, there is attachment of phage to the E. coli and the injection of the phage chromosome. After that, the breakdown of the bacterial chromosome by phage specific enzyme takes place. The bacterial chromosomes is totally broken down and then replication of the phage chromosome using the bacterial materials and the phage enzymes takes place. After that, expression of the phage genes to produce the phage structural compounds phage structural components occur, which is followed by the assembly of the progeny phage particles and ultimately release of the progeny phages by lysis of the bacterial wall. So this is the mechanism by which a bacteriophage infects a E. coli cell or a bacteriophage infects a bacteria. In their experiment, Hershey and Chase used bacteriophage and conducted an experiment to find out whether it was protein or DNA that act as a genetic material. So, to prove this, the idea was that if the genetic material has an ability to enter the cell while the component which is not the genetic material will remain outside. So, this was the basic logic behind doing this experiment. So, the component which enters the bacterial cell will be the genetic material, or the component which will remain outside the bacterial cell will be the non-genetic material. In this experiment, the first thing which was done was that bacteriophages were cultured into two types of medium. So, in the first batch, the bacteriophages were grown with radioactive sulfur, while the other batch bacteriophages were grown with radioactive phosphorus. The radioactive isotope of sulfur was S35, while the radioactive isotope of phosphorus was P32. It should be noted that as sulfur is only present in protein but absent in DNA, the viruses which were grown in presence of radioactive sulfur has radioactive proteins only, while as phosphorus is present in DNA and absent in proteins, the virus which were cultured in radioactive phosphorus has radioactive DNA only. So, how this experiment took place? Let us explain this. First, for the experiment was conducted for both the batches. First, the radioactivity leveled phages were mixed with the bacteria and the phages were allowed to infect the bacterial cells. So, first for the batch 1 radioactive protein labeled bacteriophages were allowed to infect the bacteria, while for the batch 2 radioactive DNA labeled bacteriophages were allowed to infect the bacteria. After that, the mixture was agitated in a blender to separate the phages outside the bacterial cells from the contents. Means, so the mixture was taken, it was put into a blender and it was agitated. So whichever the components of the bacteriophage which remain outside will fall off. It was done for both the batches. Then the solution was then centrifuged. So whilst after centrifuging, what happens is that the bacteria forms the pellet at the bottom, while the bacteriophages will remain in the supernatant. So this was the general procedure. First it was the bacteriophages and the bacteria were kept in a medium and the bacteriophages were allowed to infect the bacteria. Then it was put into a blender and it was agitated so that the bacteriophages which was outside the bacterial cell will fall off. Then it was followed by centrifugation so that the solution will now be divided into two components, the supernatant which will contain the bacteriophages and the pellet which will contain the bacterial cells. Now this was done for both the batches. Now after that radioactivity was measured. So what was the observation? It was observed that the bacteriophage proteins remain outside the host cell during the infection, while the bacteriophage DNA entered the cell. So how this was observed? So it was, see, when for the first batch when sulfur was radioactively labeled, and I have told that sulfur is only present in proteins and it is absent in DNA. So after infection, then after agitation in a blender, then centrifugation, and it was seen that radioactivity was only observed in the supernatant, but in pellet no radioactivity was observed. So it proved what? It proved that the protein component of the bacteriophages is present in the supernatant and it did not enter the bacterial cells. But what happened when the P32 labeled bacteriophages infected the bacteria? Then it was agitated in the blender, then it was centrifuged, and it was seen that the radioactivity was present in the pellet, while the supernatant were absence of any radioactivity. This proved what? This proved that the DNA component which is present inside the head of in the capsid of the bacteriophage entered the bacteria. So I have also told that for a genetic material, it should enter the cell, enter the bacteria. So over here DNA is entering the bacteria, so it can be proved that DNA is the genetic material. So what was the conclusions? The conclusion was that E. coli which were infected by radioactive DNA viruses were radioactive, but the ones that were infected by radioactive protein viruses were non-radioactive. From the resultant radioactive and non-radioactive bacteria, it can be concluded that the viruses that had radioactive DNA transferred their DNA to the bacteria, but the viruses that had radioactive protein didn't get transferred to the bacteria. Hence, DNA was ultimately proved to be the genetic material, and the genetic material cannot be the protein. So, hope this lecture was helpful. Thank you.